So Isis is the female god in Egypt, and Ra is the male god. El equals God. Okay? So what we're looking at is Israel, the Holy Land where God dwells. Where does God really dwell, everyone? God does not dwell in a physical place or a physical country. Okay? God does not dwell in Israel. Doesn't dwell in the Holy Lands. It doesn't dwell in a country, a city, a place, a temple. Doesn't dwell anywhere other than inside yourself. The living, conscious, breathing soul. Because if we look at this symbol, what do we have? This is the symbol of water. This is the symbol of fire. Okay? So fire moves upward, water moves downward. Okay? So the Holy Land of Israel, where God dwells, okay, is not a real place. It is a symbol. It's a symbol. It's a metaphor. God dwells in a place where the male and female, fire and water, the good and the bad, all duality collapses and merges into one. That's why the number of God is the number 1. Okay? The number 1 is the number of God. Why is the number 1 the number of God? And why is the word soul come from the word solo or soul, which means one? Okay? So God dwells in a holy land where the male and female, fire and water, all duality collapses, and that's what the Star of David is. God dwells in a place where there is non-duality. Where there is non-duality. And where is that place, everyone? Let me know in the comments if you know the answer. Where inside of you is there no duality? No good thought, bad thought, no bad emotion, good emotion, left and right hand, left and right eyes, there is a place that is beyond all duality inside of you. Awareness, there you go. Because you are not the body, you are not the mind, you are awareness that observes the mind and the body. You observe what you think and feel and how you act in your senses. So God is in this place where all duality collapses, because the spirit or awareness or the soul has no thinking ability. It just observes. It's just pure consciousness. That's where all duality transcends. You transcend duality when you turn off the mind and body and you no longer think, no longer feel, no longer experience your senses. You're just being itself. So that's why the letter I is one line. When you say, I am. When you say, I am, you're referring to your true self that is beyond your mental framework, beyond your thoughts. There was I am, so the letter I is one line. And in Roman numerals, I represented the number 1. And the I sounds like an eyeball, an eye, the all-seeing eye. So duality is an illusion. The awareness, singularity, has to experience things through duality. Because in essence, everything comes from awareness. Where am I? Exactly, where am I? Where is it? Where is the all-seeing eye? There is no local place because it transcends something that is physical. So if you look at the Holy Land of Israel, is Isis, Ra, and El. Isis, Ra, and El is the Holy Land of Israel, where duality collapses. The male and the female, the good, the bad, the unconscious, the conscious, the bad thought, the good thought, all duality collapses. That's the Israel symbol. That's where God dwells, in that holy land. The holy land is the place beyond your thoughts, because your thoughts are duality, beyond your body, because your body's duality, beyond your emotions, because your emotions are duality. The holy land where God dwells is Israel, where duality merges, which is the awareness of your mind. Why is it Israel? Because, I don't know, they just used allegories to represent these things. God does not dwell in Israel. God dwells in you, beyond your mind. There is zero evidence for what he is saying. Okay. So, what I'm saying is, the Holy Land of Israel, the God does not dwell in a place. It's symbolic. Israel is symbolism. Yes. Israel is symbolism for where God dwells. Okay? So where does God really dwell? Beyond your mind. Because you are not your mind. You are not Harry. You are not Josh. You are not Sophie. You are not... Whatever your name is, you think you are your mental beliefs, but you're not. You're the one observing the mind. You're the one observing the thoughts. And the one observing is oneness. Okay? Because the observer does not think. It contains both the male and female. It observes the both good and bad thoughts. It observes the both good and bad emotions. The good senses and the bad senses you sense. So the observer is singularity, which is God. The observer is the spark of God inside of every living being. So the holy land where God dwells is this place inside of you. Okay? Which is symbolized in the Bible as Israel. Israel. Isis the feminine, Ra masculine, El the unification of duality. You know, so that's the true meaning behind it. Are we God? That's the true meaning behind the Holy Land of where God dwells. Okay? God dwells beyond your mind, the spark of life, conscious awareness. And that, okay, so think of it like this. Think of it like this, right? The spark of your mind is the awareness. Okay? The spark of your mind. Your mind is only a thing, or your body is only a thing because you have awareness. Awareness is the soul principle. So you have awareness that observes, which is the infinite spark of consciousness. Then you have the mind where we think, feel, imagine things. Then we have our body. Okay? That's the true nature of who we actually are. We are the soul, or a spirit, whatever you want to call it, then the mind, then the body. This soul is what is seeking to be expressed, and it can only be expressed through duality, through good thoughts, bad thoughts, through good things and bad things, through day and night. Oneness creates multiplicity, which is the awareness is not something that you possess, it is a universal. Universal, meaning it's you and me, it's the dog and the squirrel. Awareness is universal, your mind is personal. Me and you have a different mind, but we are the same awareness observing the mind. Okay? So, you are the kingdom of God. So, does anybody know about the Anunnaki? Okay? The Anunnaki gods who came down and genetically modified humans. Okay? Anybody know about this? Let me know in the comments if you know about them. Did you know that that is again another allegory and a metaphor? Okay? Hold on, let me just... So the Anunnaki gods is a metaphor of you, of how your soul incarnated and wrapped itself in a physical reality. Again, what is your soul? Your soul is the awareness. Are we all on the same page, everyone? Are we all on the same page? Are we all understanding this? Okay, so Anunnaki. Anu, he's the god of the sky in Mesopotamian mythology. He's the god of the sky. Ki is the goddess of the earth. So there you go, you have above and below. Earth. And what happens in that story, everyone, in the Anunnaki? What happens? Anu, the supreme god of the sky in Mesopotamian mythology, was seen as the Sumerian, seen by the Sumerians, the living essence of the heavens. Okay? He came down from the sky and married Ki, the goddess of the earth. And together they had a child and gave birth to the Anunnaki. So what's that story telling you, everyone? About you. Symbolically, what does that represent? What does that represent? Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments if you can understand what that means. Okay? It's not true. We're halfway. Okay. Again, we'll go over that again. The story of the Anunnaki. We need to think metaphorically. We need to think metaphorically right now, okay? Anu, he was the god of the sky in the Mesopotamian mythology, the Sumerian mythology, okay? He's the god of the sky. Ki is the goddess of the earth. Anu came down from the sky. He fell in love with Ki, the goddess, and they had a child and gave birth to the Anunnaki. So what's that telling you? It's telling you Anu represents your soul. Ki represents your body. They came together, and you are now a spirit in a body. So the story of the Anunnaki is the story of you. Okay? The soul comes down and marries the body. Anu comes from the sky to marry Ki. So the whole story is about yourself. But remember, people, okay? We have to remember these old stories that we listen to from the past. Okay? These old stories that we listen to from the past. They should never ever be read literally. Ever. Why? The Bible should never be read as history. Ever. We should never read these things as history. Why? Because the ancients did not have mass printers. Books were very rare. Therefore, the books and the knowledge used to be that they had to be remembered. You couldn't go and buy a book. You would have to remember the story. And you can't remember. If I give you my book, it's not written in story, so it'd be very difficult to remember it. Because it's not a story. But you can remember a story very easily. So, the Bible, the Sumerians, the Egyptians, they writ their texts in stories so people can remember them. Okay? Anyways, okay, Lucifer. What happened to Lucifer, everyone? Let me know in the comments. Let's discuss Lucifer and the real meaning of Lucifer inside yourself. What's your religion? I don't have religion. I believe and I know that we are all a part of God. And we're all God experiencing itself. Okay? what happened to Lucifer? Let's discuss Lucifer. What happened to Lucifer? So Lucifer fell from heaven. He fell from heaven, okay? What is your script? I don't have a script. This is all off the top of my mind. I know these books like the back of my hand. Lucifer got kicked out of heaven for trying to be better than God. Okay? So, let's look at this. Lucifer, this is the sigil of Lucifer. Sigil of Lucifer. This is your brain. This is your visual field. This is your brain and your visual field. Okay, you see it there? That's how you see, okay? So, the sigil of Lucifer. Let's break down the word Lucifer. The word Lucy means light. Fer means to bring. Fer translates to bring, and Lucy means light. So it's light bringer. And the sigil of Lucifer is your brain and visual field. Okay, so what's this actually to do with? Okay, what's the esoteric meaning behind this? Because if we read the Bible literally, what will that do? It will give you a fairy tale. Okay, if you believe the Bible literally, it'll give you a fairy tale. If someone give you a book now and it had the similar story to Jesus, just different names, you would say it's a fairy tale, wouldn't you? But because it's got such a big religion behind it, you believe it's true. Okay? So it's a fairy tale at the end of the day, but it's a metaphorical fairy tale. It's a metaphorical fairy tale that discusses the inner functions of your mind. Why? Because where do you live, everyone? Let me know in the comments, where do you think you live? Where do you live? Let me know in the comments. In my mind, yeah. You live in your mind. You are the awareness observing your mind, and your mind is inside your body. So you don't live on earth. You are the soul observing the mind, commanding the mind, and then the mind commands your speech and your actions. So you've never left the spiritual world. You're still there. You taught me well, Harry. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm glad you're on a... Okay? So you live in your mind. You are the soul, the observer of the mind. Are you the thought, or you're the one listening to the thought? You're the one listening. So that means you, this is my body, meaning it's not me, it's mine, it's a possession. It's my thoughts, my mind, it's not me. So who am I if my mind is mine and my body is mine? Who am I? I am the observer, observing them, the soul. This invisible spirit, the awareness, whatever you want to call it. So that soul, the observer, the true self, the witness, okay, is witnessing the simulation produced by your reality, but by your brain. Okay, you're observing a simulation, what you see, touch, smell, all created by the brain. So Lucifer, okay, gets kicked out of heaven for thinking he's better than God. Lucifer, Lucy means light, but Fer means to bring, so it's light bringer. The eyes are a form of Lucifer. The eyes bring the light into the brain and create a simulated reality. So when the soul or the observer becomes obsessed with the things outside of it, becomes obsessed with the lust, with the fame, the things of the world, the food, and it loses its true nature, the observer or the true self gets lost in ego. It gets lost in ego. It starts to think that it's better than God. So when the soul becomes obsessed with the things of the world, it begins to gain ego, pride, wealth, whatever it is, and it loses itself. and you get kicked out of heaven. It's yourself. The whole story's you. Okay? It's how the psyche works, how the soul works with the mind, and how we start to lose ourselves in this external world. We start to self-sabotage. Yeah. Everything is self, 100%. Where does the ego come from? That's a very good question. That's a very good question. Where does the ego come from, everyone? Well, what does your mind like to do? When you walk into a room, what does your mind do? Starts to judge. Starts to judge every character, starts to say, this person's that, he looks like this, he looks like that. We don't say it, but sometimes our mind likes to, speak a lot and place labels on people and things, right? That's what the mind does. The mind is always trying to seek and label and understand everything in your reality. So your mind, as you've grown older, you never had an ego when you were a child. When you were a baby, you didn't have an ego. But as you grew older, your mind gained memories, it gained beliefs, it gained perception, it gained imagination, it gained fear, it gained emotions, it gained all of these things. So the mind, or awareness, is here in the middle, but around the mind around the awareness, or the true self, is filled with these memories, beliefs, perceptions of ourselves, because the mind likes to grab information and create a label, and that's who we think we are in our mind. But beyond all of them, we're not. We're just awareness. Okay? Beyond all of them, we're just awareness. God, the spark of God. So that's how we start to lose ourselves. So what the ego is the mind's interpretation of itself. Share this live with a friend and family member, everyone. Let's get some more people. Share this live with a friend and family member if you want them to get on a higher understanding. Okay. So, like I just said here, right? The universe. This is the Egyptians. We're looking at the Egyptians here. Look at what we're looking at. Does anybody know what we're looking at? We're looking at the universe depicted by the Egyptians. Okay? The Egyptians were depicting one source, one consciousness being expressed in every living form. Look at that. The Ankh is a symbol of life, male and female energy. The male is the lines and the female is the curves. Because the female body is curvy, the male body is liney. Okay? So, and it's all to do with the genitals. The male genitals are liney and the female genitals are curvy. Okay? So you're seeing lines and curves, which is masculine and feminine. So awareness, giving out masculine and feminine energy, or life, a symbol of life, to all the plants, the animals, the humans, the birds, cows, snakes. We're all one consciousness expressed in different minds and bodies. Can you see that now? The Egyptians were showing you the exact same thing that I've been saying. That, look at here though, here you see a big Ankh being given to humans. It's because humans possess the most advanced consciousness out of all creation. We have a two-way consciousness, meaning we can self-reflect, create, things like that. So now you can see that we're all one consciousness in a different body. Look at this. Rewrite the word within, you see high twin. You think this is Solipsism is nonsense. You have to learn not to see things through the filter of your mind. If you turn off your mind, you'll see it. Who's the twin within everyone? Most people don't realize they live in two worlds at the same time. Have you ever realized you're called an individual? You're dual. Individual. Within is high twin. Have you ever looked at the word divine? Divine. What does that spell? Rearrange the word divine, what do you get? Dive in. It's so in your face. When I say the spiritual world is so in your face, you have no clue how close it is. You close your eyes, you imagine something. You have to free your mind from limitation. You can close your eyes and create a whole world. Do you not recognize that? That you live in two worlds. The spiritual world is so it's closer to you than your nose. You just never realized it. And this is the blindfold that we've been pulled over our eyes our whole life. These dark occultists, these dark occultists running this world have given you phones, jobs, bills, Netflix, entertainment, TikTok, to constantly make you look outside yourself, to never realize how powerful that your mind really is. The mind is the spiritual world that you live in. And your mind is not your brain. Within is high twin, individual, divine is dive in. Go in your mind. You can create whole worlds there. All you have to do is to create the vision of yourself in the mind and then act in accordance with that. So when you go out through your day, you remember yourself of that imagination of yourself and act in accordance to that person. And you'll simply become it. Very, very simple. So we are not the brain. No, you are not electrical. You are not electrical activity of your brain. I can prove that to you right now. I always say it, but it's so easily proved. Okay? Right. Your body is here. In the present moment. This is the future. This is the past. Can your body go into the past? No. Can your body go into the future? Let me know in the comments. No. Okay. So my body is locked in the present moment. Can my mind go into the past? Yes. Can my mind go into the future? Well, kind of, with imagination. There you go. Your mind does not obey the same law that your body does. Your body is locked in this present moment, but your mind can go into both. So now you can start to see, wow, okay, my mind is actually spiritual. I don't die. You never die, ever. 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 The mind is not the brain. So when I say the spiritual world is so close, I literally mean the spiritual world. You've never ever left the spiritual world. You've just mistaken yourself for this body in this external world. You've never closed your eyes and actually created worlds in your head. You can command everything in your mind. You can create whole worlds. You're the God of that universe in your mind. Is there anyone else in your mind, anyone? Let me know. Is there anyone else commanding your mind when you close your eyes? Let me know in the comments. No, it's just you. You are the God of that world, that universe. And when you get rid of the limiting beliefs, you can create anything you want in your head. Why are we afraid of death? Humans are afraid of things that we do not know. That's it. You do not need to be afraid of death, because you can find out what happens after death by mastering yourself and astral projecting. I talk about that in the book. Okay, so the kingdom of God is inside of you. The kingdom is the world inside your mind, and you are the sole observer commanding that world. Here we go. Look at what we got here. This are the 12 cranial nerves of your brain. How many disciples does Jesus have, everyone? How many disciples do you have? Let me know in the comments. How many disciples did Jesus have? 12. And how did he spread his teachings across the world? Well, Jesus was the central figure, and then he told his old disciples, go around the world and spread the knowledge. That's a parable for how your body works. You are the central figure, Jesus, the Christ, or the observer, the soul in the mind. And the soul commands the mind, and the mind commands the body through 12 cranial nerves and controls the body. You control your body through electricity flowing through these 12 cranial nerves, pretty much. Okay? So, the allegory of Jesus spreading his teachings through 12 disciples is the allegory of how your soul commands your mind through electrical signals to the body to control the body. Soul, mind, and body connections. Okay? So now you can see the parallels now. So again, remember, you live in your mind. You live in your mind. So everything you see is about your mind. Here's the Freemasons. Can you see it? What do you see here, everyone? What are the Freemasons trying to show you? What do you think the Freemasons are trying to show you here? Anybody know? This is your skull. There's your left brain, there's your right brain. Here's the awareness in the middle, observing both. This is your dome, your head. This is the temple. The Freemasons are showing you. This is the temple. What's the side of your head called? A temple. Because the awareness, the divine spot, lives inside. This is all inside your head. Free your mind. There you go. So these symbols, what are they now? You start to see these symbols a little bit differently. These symbols are now instructions on how to operate your mind. Because that's where the soul lives. The mind is the temple of God to experience himself. Your mind is the lodge. Yes, the lodge of Freemasonry is your mind. The whole thing is your mind. The coffin represents a state of unconsciousness. For example, before this live, we maybe had a few people who have never really looked inside themselves. Okay? Now that they've watched this live, they're now starting to go inside themselves. That unconscious state they were in, they never realized they had an internal world. They never realized they lived two lives, a thought life and a physical life. The soul is in two worlds. The soul inside the physical world, the mental world. Experiencing and observing both. So this coffin represents a state of unconsciousness when the mind's not really turned on. We don't really recognize our inner world, and we just think, feel, and act randomly. So now all of these symbols are now inside your head. This is your dome, this is your head. So these symbols represent instructions on how to operate your mind, thought, emotions, and how to act these out in your physical body. Okay? Let's go to some paintings. Look at this. Okay. temples, the Egyptian temples. You have a king's chamber, which is your pineal gland, and a queen's chamber, which is your pituitary gland. The chambers are in your brain, the temple of God. The Temple of Solomon is an image of your brain. The whole rooms, the different caves. The ancients built the Indians built their temples in the reflection of the chakra system or the energy system. Because again, your body is the temple of awareness for God to see himself. Okay, let's go even further. All of this is your brain. All of it. Because your mind's the temple. Here's another one. Your mind's the temple. And what's crazy, right? When are you releasing the Book of Wisdom Volume 2 on Amazon? I can't, for some reason, on Amazon. The Book of Wisdom Volume 2 doesn't, it just keeps getting blocked. They won't allow it on there. I don't know why. Maybe it's just some of the content in here is too deep. But the two books are on there, Book of Symbolism, Book of Wisdom Volume 1, they're allowed, but for some reason, every time I upload this one, it gets blocked, so. Okay. It's strange. Yeah, very, very, very strange. Okay, so yeah, so it's the same here. Are you the sole writer? Yeah, I am the writer. I've written all these books. I decoded all of this stuff myself because I love this stuff, and I don't want you to spend the wasting time on hours of useless stuff like I did. Reading this book will probably save you, what, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years of research. It's all in one, right? Oh, if I could have got this book when I was researching, I would have jumped on it, right? And not only is it going to save you time, it's going to help you understand yourself on a way deeper level. Way deeper level. And you're going to have more control of yourself. More control of your reality, because yourself is your reality. Your reality is a reflection of what goes on in your mind. I brought the bundle of 3 yesterday. Beautiful. Enjoy. You have a good heart. I try my best, you know. We're all not perfect, but I try my best. Thank you. Thank you so much. What are your sources? You are the source. These are not beliefs. These are to be recognized inside yourself. Okay? They are to be recognized. What's the hardest truth to hear? That you don't exist. That's the hardest one to get your head around. You do not exist. Your personal self does not exist. It's an illusion. Thoughts are an illusion. Only God exists. You don't exist. Your personal self does not exist. Your mind is just who you believe you are, your name, your job, your body, your career. None of that exists. The only thing that exists is God, which is awareness beyond your mind. Because you're not the mind, you're the one observing it. And you are part of something much, much bigger. You're part of something universal. Okay, let's get rid of this guy who just keeps commenting the same thing over and over. You're part of something much bigger. Your consciousness is attached to something universal. Okay. That's probably... What are we then? You're God trying to see himself. You are... An eyeball can't see an eyeball. You can never look at your awareness. Awareness can only look outward, just like an eyeball can only look outward. Awareness sees the mind, and the mind is in the body. Awareness can't see itself, so what God is awareness trying to see himself through investing his own consciousness into every mind and body to see himself in every possible angle. An eyeball can't see himself. You can never see your soul, but you can dissolve yourself in it, if you know what I mean. You can never see, you can see your mind, right? You can hear your thoughts, but you can never see what's seeing it. You can dissolve yourself in it, but you can never see it. That's deep. Yeah, it's quite deep. Harry BJ is the author. Yes, I am the author of this book. Would you like me to create a code for this book? If you want to get this book, I'll give you a code now. I can create a code for you. And if you want a code, just let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments. But yeah, it's a... I need the book. Yeah. Well... It's a very, very powerful book. Okay, what we're using today is the Book of Wisdom Volume 2. So, okay, you can use this code I'm about to give you on everything on the website. Everything. The bundle, everything. We have it French, English, Italian, Spanish, German, worldwide shipping, anywhere in the world pretty much. And we have, some other great... How long's the delivery? Depends where you are in the world. Sometimes it's a week. Some other places are 2 weeks. It depends. But it won't be longer than 2 weeks, depending where you are in the world. Dutch, yeah, we have it in Dutch. What percent should I give off today, everyone? What should I give you? I'm gonna go with 45%. 45% you can get off. 90% I wish I could, but I can't. I'd be only hurting myself there. Use the code 777 at the checkout. Just click my profile, click the link in the bio, click on books, takes you to revivalofwisdom.com. Click my profile, click the link in the bio, click on books, takes you to revivalofwisdom.com. Is the Book of Wisdom Volume 1 and 2 written by Joseph yours? No, that's a scam. And listen, I'm not just saying that. This is my book, this is my name. The only place I sell it legally is my website. Anywhere else is a scam, and you're feeding someone stealing people's work, my hard work. The book that says Harry Joseph, okay? The amount of people that message me saying, why are there no images in my book? I say, where did you buy it from? Let me see the book. And it says Harry Joseph. The one with Harry Joseph, some scammer, there's no images. So the book is useless because my books are heavily use images, because that's how I learn, through images. Okay? All of it is images, symbolism, consciousness. Okay? The images are everything. The only place to get the real book is my website. So the first, I think, one was taken. 9 more people can use that code. 9 more people. The first 9 people who get there, 777. Okay. What is your website? Just click my profile, click the link in the bio, click on books, it will take you there. How do we get it on French? It's all on the website. Just click on my website, click on French products or French books. Revivalofwisdom.com. Okay. Works for Ethereal University? Yes. So if you go on revivalofwisdom.com, the code works for the Ethereal University lifetime. You can use it on the lifetime. So you get 40% off the lifetime if you wish, but 7 people have Now use the code. There are 3 codes left. That was very, very fast. Okay, let's carry on. Why do we have to suffer before we make it in life? You have to learn. You have to learn why you're suffering, or else you will suffer in a cycle, right? If you do not learn from the mistakes, you will suffer in a cycle. You either have to submit to transformation or suffer in a cycle. If you don't learn from the mistakes, you don't change your actions, don't change things, you'll just keep recycling the same lessons. You know? You either suffer in a loop or submit to transformation. Where's my mom? She passed away. Oh, I feel you on that. I'm sorry you're going through that. It's horrible. Nothing worse. You can get through it though. You just have to you just have to accept your mortality. You have to accept that everything in this life is mortal. Nothing's eternal in this physical life. That's just the nature of the world. It's so hard to accept it. But yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. But I feel you on that. You can get through it. So again, you have to learn from everything. The only thing you can control in that situation is your view on it. You know? There's a famous quote that I live by: if you can change it, then change it, but if you can't change it, change your mental attitude towards it. The only thing you can do in that situation, you can't change it, right? You have to just face it, and the only thing you have to do is control how you see it. You know, learn from anything you can. Maybe it makes you a better person. Maybe it makes you value family more. Maybe, I don't know, whatever it is. Yeah. But anyways. Thank you for everything, Harry. Pleasure. No worries. Okay. It's a pleasure. I just brought all 3. Appreciate the code. Beautiful. Enjoy. Enjoy the books. Beautiful. Okay. Is Hermeticism originally Masonry? Masonry is a blend of Kabbalah, Hermeticism, Gnosticism. It's a blend of everything, pretty much. I'm addicted to the book. Wow. Amazing. Which book do you have? Which book do you have? Will life ever end? This life will, in your body, but the life of your soul or your awareness will never die, only transform to operate different content in different forms. You know? Really is beautiful when you start to see life from a higher perspective. The perspective that they ingrain into our mind is so dull and dark in school. When you learn to see the truth, your life, you feel better, you think better, you see how beautiful reality really is. Okay? It is beautiful. What can help with my social anxiety? Meditation. And observing and alchemizing your emotions. If you see, okay, you're not the emotion. You're the one observing and feeling it. Okay? So you can't not feel it. You're gonna let it, you just have to let it pass by. So now, in my mind, right, how I work my mind is that I am now the observer of everything. Let's say a bit of anxiety shows up. I don't instantly attach myself to it and start overthinking. I say, anxiety showing up in my mind. Just let it pass. Just say that in your head. Or I don't know what, a bit of fear comes up. Say, okay, a bit of fear's just popped up in my mind. It's gonna pass by. It's like you are the sky, and your mind is like the clouds. That, you know, you're the one observing it. So you see now, if you have anxiety, just learn to sit back. Take a step back from the awareness. And meditation, when you meditate every day, you'll learn to anchor yourself to that place inside of you. Because when you don't meditate, right, you think you are your mind. You're just following these races of thoughts that are constantly going through. But when you meditate every day, you anchor yourself, you learn to anchor yourself beyond the racing mind. You know? So that's what we have to learn to do. And meditation will help you. And alchemizing your emotions, that's what I didn't explain. The anxiety is monkey mind. Wow, you were just reading my mind then. I was literally just imagining a monkey smashing together the tambourines, symbolizing the mind racing. Alchemizing emotion is to recognize what the subconscious is trying to present to you. If you feel anxiety, the subconscious is saying you need to build trust in this area. You need to build confidence in yourself. If you feel anger, your subconscious is revealing where you lack some self-control or insecurity. You feel jealous, your subconscious is saying that's where you should go, that's the direction. That's what you can achieve. So the emotions should not just be felt, they should be observed and questioned of what they're trying to symbolize. If that makes sense, right? I have a whole free book on my website. It's called The Alchemy of Emotion. Listen, there's no catch. There is no catch. Go on my website, it's a PDF, it's fully free. It's called The Alchemy of Emotion. It's a free PDF, go get it. It's on my website, revivalofwisdom.com. The Alchemy of Emotion. That free PDF alone will help you so much. You'll begin to realize how powerful you really are and how you can transform emotions. Yeah, a lot of I love helping people. It's amazing to see. Anyone else have any questions? Anyone else have questions? So if I'm afraid, what are you afraid of? Okay, why be afraid? Think about it. You're going to die one day. You're going to be on your deathbed and think, why was I so afraid of little things? Why did I not do this? You know, why was I wasting so much time on this? Imagine being on your deathbed and thinking this. Why did I waste so much time on this? Why did I be afraid of such little things? Like, Free yourself, which is your observer, from your mind. You have to do that. It's one of the best things you'll ever do. You begin to learn to live in the present moment, and life is beautiful. You see, life is only as good as your quality of thoughts. Life is only as good as your quality of thoughts. You know? It's only as good as your quality of thoughts. Who created us if we are not exist? We do exist, but I mean your personal self does not exist. Your personal self is an illusion. Only God exists. But consciousness, or the mind, has attached itself to labels, identity frameworks, but we're not the identity framework, we're the pure consciousness behind it. You know? We're playing a character. Yeah, we're playing a character. Very well said. Who is God then? The pure consciousness that you are experiencing itself. God is law. You have to learn about law. God is not a separate being. He is the law that unfolds creation, such as like a seed. You plant a seed, there are laws in that seed that make it grow. No one tells it to, it just knows how to do. It's very difficult to comprehend for most. It is, yeah. It is very, very difficult to comprehend. Your mind has to go through some work and maturing to recognize this understanding. But if you keep dwelling on the thought, it will eventually mature and bear fruit in your mind, and you'll start to see it. As your mind evolves with these concepts that I'm talking about, they're not to be understood straight away. They are meant to evolve in your mind, and you'll eventually start to see it more and more clear, and it starts to change you. That was a good comment, by the way. That was a great comment. A lot of people have just taken advantage of that free PDF. If you haven't gone and get it, we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 people so far have got that free PDF. Listen, there is no catch. I know it's free, but there is no catch. That's it. How do I get it? It's on my website. Just go onto my website, revivalofwisdom.com, in my bio, and type in on the search bar, The Alchemy of Emotions. And I'm telling you now, you read that very small PDF, it will help you a lot. A lot. It's totally free. Of course, yeah. I would never lie to you. I would never lie. And there's no catch. I'm not going to send you emails or anything, right? Well, I will if you sign up to the email list. I can keep you updated with stuff, but I don't send many emails. I'm confirming Harry just got it, no catch. Beautiful. Enjoy. There's loads of free PDFs on the website. It can help you. But yeah, listen, I'm going to be back live again later, everyone. I'll be back live in about an hour or two's time. We'll go live again. Come on to the community. In fact, you know what? Go to my profile, click on the inner chat, join the community inside of TikTok. I will send the link to the free PDF inside of there, so you can just access it straight away. So join the inner chat. It's the community inside of TikTok where, you know, I can send you cool messages every day. It's all I do. I just send information in there every day. So just click my profile. You'll see underneath my profile picture the inner chat. Join there, and I'll send the link in when I've ended the live. Okay, I just joined it. Thank you. Amazing. Perfect, everyone. I'll see you all again later. I'm going to join. I'll join and live later. And take care of yourselves. Have a great day if I don't see you again. Goodbye. Take care. Love and light to you all. in a line with the effect that you want to bring into. You have to stay aware. The eye is open. Staying conscious of what we think, what we feel, what we act, as much as possible, at all times as possible. The moment you fall unconscious is when you make mistakes. You make unconscious decisions which may lead to bad consequences. You may hurt people's feelings. The best way to gain control of a self and reality is to stay aware of the three creational powers. To create the effect into your circumstances or the outside reality. Does this make sense, everybody? Are we all on the same level? Are we all on the same page? So share this live with a friend and family member if you wish to get them on a higher level of understanding. So it's about self-mastery. Islam, the word Islam, I, self, law, master. I, self, law, am mastered. I, self, law, am master. You are the master of yourself through law. I, self, law, am master. The self, the awareness, the mind, the body are governed through law. Just like a video game. You can't code a video game without the codes that make sure the game runs. So what are the codes that run this reality? Very, very simple. We take these things for granted. We take the law for granted. This is how you know that reality is a created creation. Cause and effect. The law of cause and effect is too powerful for you to escape. Can you escape the law of cause and effect? Can that force, can you overcome that force? The answer is no. You cannot escape that law. So, my job is to work with that law as much as possible. So I know that I'm working with the law. If I act unconsciously, if I think, if I feel, if I act unconsciously, I will unconsciously create effects in my reality. So we must align our mind, heart, and body with law. This is what it means to become the master of self. This is what Freemasons study, is natural law. Now, you have man-made law, which is government law. Then you have natural law, God's law, cause and effect, conscience. Conscience is another law. If you go up to a random person in the street and you punch them in the face, right? That's a very extreme example. If you go to someone in the street and you punch them in the face, what are you going to feel inside of you? You're going to feel bad. You're going to feel like you've done something wrong. Escape that. Okay? Why can I not escape the law? Why do I feel guilty if I do that? Well, it's not something of the mind. It's feeling. There is a feeling that I cannot escape because I betrayed my conscience. I betrayed. I took action. I took action against my conscience. I now suffer the consequence of guilt, mentally and emotionally. So there are laws that my consciousness, my soul, mind, and body are obeying. There are natural, God-made laws that I cannot escape. So my job is to work as much as possible with them laws. So, great question. Someone just said, how do people sell souls? That's a great question. That is a great question. The way you sell your soul is, okay? The reason these rappers, these industry people who talk about music, rap music, who promote degeneracy, promote division, they promote hate, violence, drugs. What that is, all it is, these people in the music industry, they know exactly what they're doing. They know the music is programming the masses. They know that it's wrong. However, they are offered a lot of money to rap about them things, to keep people divided and keep people degenerate and unconscious. They know it's wrong, but they take the money anyway and they do it. So, what that is, selling your soul, is you have conscience, which is your law of your heart. It's a law. You cannot escape that nature. It's part of your nature. You can't get rid of it. And then you have money. So you either have the chance, you, the rapper or the music industry person, either has the chance to follow their conscience and say, no, I'm not going to take the money to rap about it because I know it's going to program the masses and keep people in an unconscious state. Or they scrap their conscience and they take the money anyway and they go against their heart. However, they're going to suffer from the guilt. Selling your soul is exactly that. And it's so easy to do. It is so easy to do. And there are people who are selling their souls every single day and they don't even realize it. And they wonder why they feel so much guilt. They know they're rapping about music. Well, okay, listen. It's not music. Everything you say, right, I want to know who you're selling it to. You're selling it to your ego. You're selling your soul, your conscience to your body, materialism. Okay? You can't sell your soul. You can't sell it. It's impossible. But what you can do is go against your soul's guidance, which is conscience. Music isn't music, everyone. The music we listen to today is not music. Okay? It is not music. Let's put that there. It is not music. It is hypnosis, right? When I listen to like modern day music, I don't even call it music. It is straight hypnosis. If you know what hypnosis is and you know stuff about how your mind functions, you can read straight through the music. And you can tell who's paying them to rap about this stuff. It is pure hypnotic propaganda, and they are paid millions and millions of pounds to rap and influence your mind, emotion, and body. Okay? Have you ever noticed that when you listen to music? Have you ever noticed that? When you listen to music, what happens? Well, your body, your actions start to dance. You have no control. You become fully immersed. Your heart, your emotions get influenced through the beats. And your mind gets hypnotized. You're in a semi-conscious state. Because of the looping beats in the number 3, by the way, that's why the number 3 is magical. because beats are always in threes, or music's always in threes, right? 3 is a very powerful number, right? Beginning, middle, end, you know, that's how they just repeat the beats, right? Your whole mind gets programmed. You can remember the lyrics for the rest of your life, right? You can listen to a song twice and you'll remember that song for the rest of your life. Your whole subconscious is influenced. Your emotions, when you listen to slow beats, you feel sad. When you listen to fast beats, you feel upbeat and happy. And your whole body starts to dance with the frequency. So it takes over your whole mind, body, and soul, music, right? It influences everything. So music is not music. It is mass hypnosis. Now, music was originally created by tribes, and they still do this today, to free the mind, free people from their mind. Because most people live in a prison mind where they, you know, a lot, you know, I suffered from it, from anxiety, you know, social anxiety, not being able to speak to people, always closing myself off, low confidence. Music was meant to liberate you from that. In tribes, what do? They dance around, they play the music, everyone's happy. The original meaning of music was meant to uplift you and free your soul, your awareness, from your mind's thoughts, anxieties. But now they've reversed it. The wrong people got on the hands of music, and they're pushing complete suppression through music, right? All it talks about now is breakups, sex, drugs, violence, and depression. Do you know any artist who is on the radio pushing love and unification? Not one. Why is that? Because music is so powerful. Music influences every body of human consciousness. It influences the mind, you remember the lyrics, influences your emotions, you feel different, invokes emotions, and it influences your actions by dancing. So, music is a weapon. It is a lethal weapon. It is a form of dopamine as well. It's a form of addiction. People get addicted to music, right? I used to be addicted to music. You don't realize it, but it is a form of dopamine. Modern music is a form of mass hypnosis, right? And especially, you know, in the UK and America, it is the worst. Like, as I grew up, it was just UK drill. And you wonder why there's so many, you know, criminals in the UK. And of course, it happens in the US as well, all around the world. But it's mass influence, right? As a child, your subconscious is wide open. So that's what selling your soul really is, people. Selling your soul is going against your conscience. It is taking money in exchange to go against what you know is wrong, what you feel is wrong inside of you. If you take money anyway, you've now sold your soul. You've sold your conscience. You've sold your soul's guidance of natural law. You've gone against your nature. So, for example, I've had hundreds of messages. No, I wouldn't say hundreds. I'd be lying. I've had messages from gambling companies, certain companies saying, oh, you can promote this, we'll pay you this much. You can promote this app. I will never ever take it because I know internally, it doesn't matter how much money they can offer. I would never ever promote gambling because that is pure degeneracy. The only thing I promote is self-mastery, self-love, self-awakening, and bettering people's lives. You know? And if I did take one, then I would live with the guilt of breaking natural law. The guilt is the sign that I've broke natural law. I've gone against my heart's guidance. So that is what selling your soul is. It is so easy to do. So easy to do. And people do it every day without even recognizing it, right? And, I can, I can confidently ask for feedback in the comments. I can openly ask and have confidence that people can come back to me and say, Harry, you changed my life. And that makes me happy. That really makes me happy to know that I can ask for feedback with confidence, and in the chat people will be, they've changed their life. So it is your books are great and full of information. Thank you. I appreciate that, everyone. Thank you. But it makes me happy to know that I can help people. But yeah, if anyone has any questions, drop your question and let's talk about a topic. Let's talk about a topic. So, who are the elites? They are dark occultists. They are, it sounds crazy, but they're wizards. These people are wizards. You would have, like, the power of these people, is insane. And I mean spiritual power, not material power. There are people beyond the elites, right? They are not even, they don't care about money. They only care about spiritual power. And that's who the elites probably work for. Okay. Anyways, feel free to ask your questions. Let's go into this. Please talk about reincarnation. In order to understand reincarnation, you have to understand law. As I've previously mentioned, law is what governs everything, just like a video game. There are laws that govern Grand Theft Auto. There are codes inside the game that everything follows. And if you don't follow the codes, if you live unconsciously, then reality becomes difficult. And I'll promise you, suffering is a result of not working with natural law. Suffering is a result of not working with natural law. These are the laws. You have to understand them. So, in order to understand, right? In order to understand, let me open my window. It's hot in here. In order to understand reincarnation, it comes to understanding law, right? Law. What do I mean by law? Well, that's what the seed of life is. The seed of life is 8 circles coming together, right? Let me know in the comments, what does a circle represent? What does a circle represent and what does a square represent? If everyone here, I'm pretty sure everyone here has read my book, they already know. What does a square and a circle represent? Okay. The circle, okay, the circle is spiritual. Why? Because if you look up in the sky, what bodies do you see? What shape is the sun? The sun is a circle. Everything above is a circle, and everything above is eternal. The sun is eternal. Everything on earth is mortal. So circles, can you calculate the exact surface area of a circle? No. You can get very close, but you cannot calculate the exact surface area of a circle. You can get very close, but not the exact, which means it's immeasurable. So this is measurable, this is immeasurable. So a circle represents something spiritual, a law. In this case, it represents 8 circles, 8 laws that come together. What is this? What is this pattern? It's a form. It's a formed geometric shape, and it's created by 8 invisible laws. 8 invisible laws create a form, a physical, tangible thing. Right, so let's go deeper. Are we all on the same page, everyone? Are we all on the same page? 8 intangible laws come together to create a form, a physical flower. So what are these 8 laws? So, before we go into anything, right, you have to understand there are 8 laws governing your mind, right? When I say your mind, everything is a projection of your mind. You do not live in the world outside of you. You are the awareness living in your head, experiencing reality through the projection of the mind. You only experience your mind because you are the observer living in your mind. If every single one of you now closes your eyes and thinks in their head, say something in your head. Who is the one listening to that? Who's the one listening to the voice in your head? That's the awareness. The awareness lives in the mind, and the mind projects reality through the physical body. So, there are 8 laws crystallizing mind into a physical experience. Okay? There are 8 laws governing the mind to crystallize a physical experience. So now, what are these laws that are governing me? What are they? Well, first of all, it's called the seed of life because the seed turns from nothing into something. It represents the process of creation, from the invisible to the visible, right? Is this making sense, everyone? The seed of life is how spirit, the seed, nothing, turns into something visible. So it's how the mind projects matter through 8 laws. The first law is mentalism. Everything exists in the mind. You do not experience reality. You only experience your mind's interpretation of electrical signals. You do never meet someone. You'll never know me. You'll only know your mind's interpretation of me. You see everything through the filter of your mind. Everything is mental. So everything you see in the news, everything you see in the propaganda on social media, everything you see in the news is all mental games, and it's all a perception game. They're trying to win your perception. That's all it is. The news is only out there to shape your mind's interpretation of reality. That's it. That's it, because they understand everyone sees reality through the mind. Is this making sense? Mind. Okay. With that being said, the next laws all correspond to the mind. The second law is correspondence. Everything in the mind reflects. You only see a reflection of your mind, as I've just broken down. You never see reality. You only see the mind's reflection. As above, so below. Everything above is reflected below. We see a reflection of a reflection. And now, this is quite hard to get your head around, look at what the elites have created. They've created a digital world called social media, which is a reflection of a reflection in a reflection. We already live in a reflection of the real reality. But now social media is here, they've created another reflection. They're creating false realities. Think about it. You only see reality through the filter of your mind. So you're seeing a reflection, right? All right. You don't see what's out here. Whatever's out here, light waves, energy, comes into your eyes, seeing a reflection. But now in this material world, they've created phones in a digital world. So they've now created another reflection, a false reality. That's how they trap the soul. So everything corresponds. Everything's a reflection. Which means, right? Everything exists in the mind and everything's a reflection of the mind. What you see in me is what you see in yourself. Okay? It is all a mental game. Now, the third law is vibration. This is where it blows your mind. Vibration, I'm pretty sure we have the CIA in the comments trying to dumb this stuff down, you know. You know what I've realized recently? That TikTok is filled with propaganda. Filled with propaganda. It's filled with propaganda. You can just tell that most of the accounts are just bots pushing certain agendas. It's everywhere. Even in the comments, it's just filled with bots. It's absolutely crazy. But yeah. We've all noticed it, right? We've all noticed it. TikTok is turning into a propaganda machine. Right? It's crazy. Yeah. Not even NPCs. I mean like straight bot accounts that just post random videos and they have all the same images and they just repost the same image, but then they post one video and it gets millions of views. It's like, how does that even happen? Yeah, it's crazy. But the next law is vibration. Literally the same comments everywhere. Exactly. It is crazy. It's crazy. So vibration is everything in the mind vibrates. You know, every thought, you think of a chair, it has a certain vibration in the mental field around you. So everything around you is a vibrating field of mind. Your eyes can't see it, but all around you is a certain mental atmosphere. For example, when you go in a church, you receive different thoughts because it has a different mental atmosphere. If you go into you go into an old building, you get different mental atmospheres. If you walk into an office, you get different mental atmospheres. So if you think of a chair, you receive more thoughts of a chair. If you think of stars, you receive thoughts of the sun, stars, energy. Whatever you place your mind's vibration on, you receive similar frequencies back, right? So that's the third law. The fourth law is rhythm. Everything works in rhythmatic. Just like the day and the night rotate, day and night, summer, winter, everything rotates in rhythm, so does your mind, right? When you wake up outside the mind, but when you go to sleep, your awareness goes back inside the mind. So daytime is external, nighttime is internal. Internal, external, internal, external. So there are laws governing us. Can you now see these laws that are actually in place, but you've never really just maybe picked up on them, right? There are laws governing consciousness. Cause and effect will still hit you like, I don't know, cause and effect, really wakes you up sometimes. Everything is a sequence of cause and effects. So if you control your causes, you work with the law of cause and effect, you can control your reality. Think of it like this, right? Cause and effect is one of the most powerful laws. Think of it like this. Mind. You have two decisions to make, and this is your mind, right? This is you, This is now your mind. In your mind, you always have duality. You always have duality in your mind. The one here, you have a goal. The goal is to, I don't know, create a business. I don't know. Right? This is you. This is your mind. In your mind, you have two decisions. One is go out. One is work. You're stuck between this conflict in your mind. You're going back and forth. Your awareness is sometimes, oh, you know what, I should do this. Then your awareness thinks, oh, you know what, I should work instead. That's the duality, the conflict in the mind. The best way to use cause and effect is by making sure every decision you make is going to produce an effect that pushes you closer and closer to the goal. Going out will push you further and further away from the goal. So always take actions that you know is going to produce an effect towards the goal, towards the self that you want to create. That's how you work with cause and effect. That's how you control your circumstances in your reality. By only taking actions that you know are going to push you toward. Let me show you. You see, suffering is a result of not understanding law, not understanding natural law. Let me show you. If you get an illness, it's a result of cause and effect and care. You're not taking proper care and you're not thinking about cause and effect. If you smoke, you know that's going to produce a bad health effect. It's a result of not working with care and a result of not working with cause and effect. Right? So work with these laws to make sure everything in your life is going towards the better good. You can use these laws to master yourself, to master your reality, and to live as healthy as possible, and to live in accordance of natural law. Align your mind, body, and emotions with natural law. Now, that's also what the eye in the sky represents, right? The eye in the sky you see in Masonic artwork is a symbol of law. It is a symbol of awareness, and it's also a symbol of the overlooking intelligence watching everything you do, law. There is an eye watching you, cause and effect, law, always governing you. The eye symbolizes the higher self, the higher dimensional essence of what we are. It shows the true being descending into the lower dimensions of materiality, manifesting through the body. In this sense, the eye is the eternal observer, the presence that witnesses all experience, every dream, everything. Okay? Does that make sense? Does this make sense, everyone? What's that kid mean? You see this kid here? Anybody know what this represents? We're going up in consciousness now. How do you go from one place to another? We should know this. I've talked about this a lot. How do I take an action? Care. There you go. Very well said. Care. Care is the generative principle, or the Masonic G. In order for you to get off the checkered board for duality-based consciousness, you have to care. So you see this lady, she's caring for the little child. In order to ascend towards higher knowledge, towards the higher self, higher knowledge of self, you have to care. You have to have a desire. You have to care to read the books, to meditate, to go into yourself, to do the work on yourself. You have to care, or else you won't take action. Every action is a production of care. Does that make sense, everyone? Hopefully that makes sense. Beautiful. Say it again. We'll go over that now for you. Okay? The Masonic G, the generative principle, Right now, what is in front of your reality is because you care. You care about gaining this information. There is a care inside of you. As soon as that care leaves, you'll right this second is because there is a care inside of you. Care creates your experience outside of you. It's what focuses the mind to project a certain reality. It's the force that creates your experience. In order to walk up this hill, which is hard work, towards the light, symbolizing in order to ascend in consciousness, you must have the G. The G is in the entrance. In order to walk up a hill, you must care to get to the top. It is care and love what creates reality. Look at the sun. The sun is the biggest symbol of love there is. One of the most profound symbols of this design is the color of Earth itself. The grand architect of the universe chose to clothe the world in green. This is not random occurrence, but deliberate act of divine symbolism. Green is one of the most significant colors in occultism, and it was chosen because it reflects the generative principle. Care is the force that generates life. Green is the color that represents new. Of course, we see other colors exist throughout creation. Nature sustains life in the same way that care sustains growth in all things. Just as a child grows when cared for, or a relationship deepens when attention is given, life flourishes when it is nurtured. The principle is the same. If one cares to reach out to a friend, a bond between them strengthens and develops. Care is the force of growth. It is love in action, and it is the same force that permeates nature. Everything is care, love, the generative principle. The sun is G, the generative principle. You see here, I break this down. At the very bottom of the image is the black and white checkered floor. This pattern symbolizes base consciousness, the duality of light and darkness, ignorance and awareness. From the initiates begins the Masonic journey. Every initiate starts here standing on the floor of opposites, caught between higher truths and lower instincts. The first step is from base consciousness requires awakening to the feminine principle. For one cannot rise without first coming into contact with care itself. This is why the woman with the baby appears at the beginning of the scene. She embodies the truth that the initiate must embrace the feminine current of consciousness in order to advance. Without this force, there is no movement. The heart must be stirred by care, and will must be nurtured by love, or else the initiate will never take action. Just as a child must be cared for in order to grow, the seed of the higher consciousness within each initiate must be nurtured by care in order for it to unfold. So you see now, everything is symbolizing this process of higher awakening, right? That's why Earth is hot, green. That's why I give knowledge. I care about helping people. That's why gift, if you gift someone something, you care for them. Genesis means create. Every creation is a form of love. Right? Generate. Genesis. Love. The sun is the biggest symbol of love there is. The sun gives everything and expects nothing in return. Grow. In order to grow, you must care. To grow your muscle, you must care to go to the gym and take action. In order to grow a relationship, you must care and give them attention. Gnosis. In order to gain gnosis, you have to care to go inside yourself, to meditate, to gain gnosis. Everything is the G. The generative principle, which is love, the force that creates everything on earth. Everything. Does this make sense now? Now you know why they have all these symbols, right? In order to go from the square to the compass, you have to go through the G. From matter to the spiritual, through the G. You see, it's the generative principle. Now it's symbolized a bit differently here because you see the green lady with the key. That's the key to higher consciousness, to go from the checkered to the heavens. You must care. If you do not care, you will not take action. If you do not care, for example, I don't know, losing weight, you won't take action to lose weight. If you don't care about paying the bills, you won't go to work. Does this make sense, everyone? It's all symbolism of how to use, what are we using, everyone? The mind. That's all it is. These symbols are instructions to use the mind, and body, to use consciousness properly. Because we're not taught in school how to use the mind, body, and awareness. That's what this is. Awareness, the soul, mind, and body. All it is instructions on how to function consciousness on a higher level, because most people are living unconsciously. They think, feel, and act randomly. They don't really know themselves. And that's all these symbols are. And when you understand the symbols, you can apply them into your business, your relationships, your whole life can fully change. Every aspect of your life. Every aspect. Everything. Right? So higher consciousness is not just care. No, so the care is the force to generate a higher consciousness. For example, if you want to ascend to a higher level of understanding of who you are, what reality really is, you must have the desire inside of you to take action. If you don't have the desire, you won't read books, you won't meditate, you won't go inside yourself. Like, the care is what generates things, generates outcomes. If you know what I'm trying to say. Or, for example, you want to create a business. You need to meditate upon loving the process of generating a business. Meditate, invoke the feeling inside of you. Love the process. And when you wake up from that meditation, you're going to have so much desire to take action that it's going to automatically create that reality. You see what I'm trying to say? I think everyone needs to get all 3 of your books. Have you read them all? They are life-changing. Thank you for saying that, Bowser. For real. How can I purchase the book? Sorry, there's a Harley Davidson next door. And it's a bit loud. Yes, I have them all. Beautiful. I'm glad you're enjoying them. I'm glad you've read them all. Okay, listen. If you haven't got the book, go get yourself a copy. I'll give you a code right now. Go get yourself a copy and learn about yourself. I'll give you the code right now. To help you invest in yourself with a better, so you can save some money. If you want to understand consciousness, here they are. If you want to see the thingy here. These are the list of all the symbols. Light in the all-seeing eye, the Masonic apron, Masonic stone, beehive, checkered. All the symbols of Masonry explained pretty much. Basically, it's how to use your mind on a higher level. What if you want all 3 books? You can, yeah, it's completely up to you. Listen, I'll give you the code now. Are you ready for the code, everyone? Are you all ready for the code? So you just click my profile, click the link in the bio, and use this code, okay? I'm going to be generous today, and I'm going to go for 35%. And the code is power, all cap. I've been yapping on for a long time. Feel free to ask your questions. Where do I put the code? I'll show you. Where do I put the code? I'll show you. I'll show you the thing, you know. So you don't, so when you click check, when you click checkout, there's a thing here. Put the code POWER in there, all capital letters, and it'll take 35% off your order. The best frequencies, bro, to listen. I like theta waves. I recommend that inside the book. And inside the book, I give you a whole, if you want to astral project, there's a whole method in there. I listen to theta waves. But sometimes, if I really want a good sleep, I listen to delta. Theta is more for meditation. Delta's for deep, deep sleep. Deep, deep sleep. Okay. How do those sounds work? So when you listen to, they influence your state of mind. Can you pin the code? The code was POWER, all capital letters. POWER, all caps, for 35% off. But there's only 5 codes left. 5 were just taken. 5 people can use that code, 35% off. Okay. Can you explain the upside down pentagram of Satanism? It's the symbol of placing your earthly desires over your spiritual nature. Hence why spirit is placed on the bottom, right? So you see spirits placed on the bottom. It represents placing your earthly desires over your spirit. It represents being governed through earthly things instead of being governed through the spirit. That's what's for the true self. Can't get hold of the customer service. The customer service is Revival of Wisdom Assistance at outlook.com. Revival of Wisdom Assistance at outlook.com. Revival of Wisdom Assistance at outlook.com. Mine is on the way. Beautiful. I'm glad. I'm glad. Got it. Amazing. There are 2 codes left. There are 2 more people who can use the code. The code was POWER. Your first book is on the way to me. Beautiful. Enjoy. How to use the code. Just click my profile, click on the link in the bio, and click on books. It'll take you to revivalofwisdom.com. And then when you're at the checkout, use that code POWER, all capital letters. Do you subscribe to Freemasonry? I do not. I've learned everything about Masonry from an external point of view and self-realization myself. I don't think anyone needs to, but they can if they want. Everyone has free will. But me personally, I don't think it's necessary. I think you can learn a lot from the outside looking in. Which do you prefer, spirit or earth at the bottom? Well, if you live like this, if you live placing your earthly needs over your spiritual, then you'll eventually run into a brick wall where you will no longer be happy because you're chasing material desires. But if you chase materialism long enough, you'll end up feeling, very empty inside. So the path of the Satanist never really doesn't lead to long-term happiness. It leads to constant chasing of validation, constant chasing materialism, constant keeping up with material changes, placing your spiritual needs over your material. Nothing material ever satisfy you. You could have £10 million in the bank and you could still have the same mind. Nothing material can change how you think, how you feel. It can change temporarily, but it won't last. Nothing material can satisfy your internal world. What do you say about dreams are so real? Dreams are your subconscious.